This is part 6 of the Palace of Twilight, and in this part we're finally
Almost there.
Going to make our way to the boss. The sad part is, this still isn't the last video of this dungeon.
This is the first time though I've been excited. We're starting to get excited during this dungeon.
Just because we're almost done.
We're almost to the final boss, and I hate the final boss too.
I don't necessarily. We'll talk about him here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I guess we'll hold off on that.
Yeah. We got some issues with that.
That was pretty good though.
But I will say I like this lead up to the final boss. First of all, like the last room here has got like the dark fog.
It's got a lot of it too, really.
And then like you just get swarms.
Yeah, and with Shadow Beast, you just destroy these guys.
I wasn't even messing around with Wolfling at this point. I'm like, I've got this sort of like
you had your spin attack.
I had it down pat at this point. It took me a little while with getting it down with the Wiimote, but yeah, I just destroyed these guys.
That's beautiful right there. You deserve like a participation trophy for that one.
But I do think it's pretty cool. Like right before the throne room, that we're
stupid
ribbon.
They're not gonna all be home runs, guys.
No,
and girls.
Yeah. Thank God that fairy was right there though, because I was down to like a third of my health.
I remember when you were playing this, I was like, I hope there's a fairy right there, and you knew there was, but I was like, God, I hope he gets that fairy.
Some of the shadow beasts earlier kind of did a number on my.
There really hasn't been a lot of hearts throughout this dungeon. I mean, there's been some here and there, but. Not like the regular dungeons, like the dungeons before this. Yeah, actually did have a lot of hearts, but this one was kind of a little bit low.
Yeah, I kind of like.
You just were using a lot more of them.
I kind of that was definitely part of it. I kind of like coming into this last room and like the music totally stops.
Cinematic,
and then you see the throne. They're like, okay, now it feels like a palace.
Yeah,
You know, finally.
This is kind of what, I mean, the last fight was a Ganon, obviously, but this is, like, this has been built the whole game. This is what you've been built up to come to at the end.
Here in the Twilight Realm, in the palace, against Zant. And I will say, I thought he looked like really menacing with the mask on, where you just see his mouth moving.
Yeah,
and he looks really like evil and creepy.
Yeah, and he doesn't underneath of it though.
No, and he no longer looks creepy.
Well, he looks okay like when it first comes off.
Yeah,
and then like just after that, it's just actually he looks okay right there. He takes off that little thing on his head later on, and like it shows like a bald head.
It's just
no offense, Red,
hey,
but
it's fine.
But like I mean, like he looks totally ridiculous at that point.
Plus these sound effects he makes just sound so wussy.
And this is a problem I have in a lot of the Zelda games. Like the second, I guess bad guy, like the guy that's always resurrected, the Demon King.
Yeah,
he's like always this like loser and just like I would say like not a tough guy. He's not a tough guy, and like it's like that in just a lot of Zelda games.
It really is. I mean, we have this guy. Who turns out was just like he served the. I do like how we finally kind of get his backstory here. That he served the royal family and then he wanted to be king.
Yeah, be king. And so he found a new god in Ganon.
So he threw a hissy fit. And like, but going back to what you said though,
Girahim's one of them. Like not really tough. You haven't played this game yet, but there's a Chancellor Cole. Spirit Tracks. That's a complete. Wuss, I guess you could say.
Even like Aghanim in Link to the Past.
Was
just a puppet.
Puppet. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So it's just I don't know. There is something about these like second to last.
I don't remember one Ocarina of Time though.
Well, we fought Ganon the first.
Ganondorf. Yeah,
who was
the first time.
BA. You know.
And then in George Max, you kind of got like it's not really the kid. I mean, he's got the mask on, but it's just the kid. So.
Yeah,
but the mask is really the final boss, though.
Yeah, this whole like cinematic though, when we finally get to him, and he kind of explains his backstory, is a pretty neat little scene. And like Ganon had been banished to the Twilight Realm, or he escaped to the Twilight Realm. Which one was it? Banished.
He got banished. Remember the execution, the Arbor thing? Yeah. So I got a little bit off topic with the whole second person thing.
Oh no, it's totally.
I had to pick up on with that one, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, we do have to talk all the way.
I love the cinematic. Yeah, I love that cinematic though, right there with the fire of Ganon.
And that's the first time we see him in this game.
No, you see him like in execution. Well, you see images of him like in the whole execution at their Arbor's grounds, and there might be somewhere earlier in the game, but I'm not for sure.
Yeah. But I think this is the first time they really say that he was the power behind Zant, though. He's like, I found a god, you know? Because, I mean, obviously they talked about the execution. You should have known then that Ganon was coming. But plus it's a Zelda game.
They didn't execute him, though, because, what happened? Like,
he killed one of the sages or whatever it was, or judges, arbiters, I guess.
Arbiters, that's probably a good word.
And then they, I don't know if they, like I said, forced him through the mirror or what. They got him to the Twilight Realm.
Sealed him somehow, because that's what happens. Like, Ganon always gets sealed in every game.
Exactly.
I think. Or something similar to that.
Yeah, so it's just...
Hey, there's that image again. Isn't that the same image behind him?
I think so, from the...
so it might be like a royal family of the Twilight.
It might be.
Image.
now that we're finally fighting him after that cinematic where we got the backstory, I kind of like the idea of how we fight him in various stages. And the stages are the previous arenas where we fought some bosses and mini-bosses in earlier.
And like a lot of times you actually see that in the last dungeon.
Yeah.
Like the last dungeon kind of goes through all the previous areas, and then the boss is just like that main boss fight.
Yeah.
Whereas here, Twilight Princess kind of switched the formula on us.
It does.
Had a regular dungeon, and then the final boss has all the different stages. So I kind of like the difference there.
It's nice to mix up. I mean, even though it's all kind of like an illusion.
Best Zelda game ever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's all kind of an illusion because when you.
Well, it's gotta be because he was in a throne room. So.
Yeah, when you finish him off, you're back in the throne room too. But it's just.
And this is the first illusion we've had in the Zelda game.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Definitely the first one. But it was kind of cool that we go through these the previous stages. Even though this is the mini boss fight from Goron Mines, I love bringing back the platform with the iron boots. I was a big fan of that mini boss.
Yeah, well, how are they going to put Zant like in the Goron Mines main boss? How would they use that with Zant?
It would just be a boring room.
Yeah, I think this one made more sense.
I agree, and it is the way he jumps up and down. It is very easy to fall off these platforms. Obviously, but you fought the mini boss. You know what to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like how, so far at least, like the arenas we fought this guy in have been like in order of the dungeons.
I do like that. Now I have a little bit of a bone to pick in part 7, but yeah, like I remember when I first fought through this, I was like, oh, cool. You have to go through all the dungeons that you've been through, all the either mini boss or final boss stage. And at least they started that way.
Yeah, because we now get the Forest Temple. We've got the Goron Mines now we're doing, and the next one is the what was the one? Lake Bed.
Yeah, Lake Bed.
I had to think about the name.
Yeah, but I was like seeing because these are like the exact rooms too, like exact replica rooms. So like I mean, it's kind of cool going back to the rooms in a dungeon because in a lot of these games you don't go back and revisit the dungeons after you're done.
I think it would have been really cool because if you remember, the boss from Lake Bed Temple was that giant fish you had to chase all around the room. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Me and Zelda names, not good. I think it would have been awesome if he'd been like riding that thing around or something because this is the easiest stage of this fight.
Yeah, it really is because he doesn't move that fast because he's underwater. All I gotta do is hook shot to the guy.
Yeah, and we don't move very fast. All you have to do is hook shot.
Yeah.
I missed a little wide left.
Yeah, you did.
Just the
laces were in.
The laces were in, Zant. The laces were in. And like the only wrinkle they put in this one is like this time he comes up with 3 or 4 of those big sand heads instead of just one. So.
Yeah, but I mean, all I gotta do is locate which one he's. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. Actually, I thought this whole boss fight. Now you were doing it.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the whole boss fight was really a joke, to be honest with you. I just didn't think. I mean, like a lot of times, every time, the second to last boss is very hard.
Yeah, the last phase of the fight that we'll get to in part 7. Thank you. Was actually I enjoyed just doing him in his regular form. But yeah, all this so far, pretty much a piece of cake. But this wraps up part 6 of the Palace of Twilight.